hostiles.
Welcome to Ware Gaming Weekly. Hello, and welcome to Ware Gaming Weekly for the week of April 25th, 2019. My name is Nick, and alongside me is my brother Josh. Say hi, Josh.
Hi, Josh.
For your information, we post every Wednesday on YouTube.com and on podcast services. You can find out more about us at WareGaming.com, and you can watch us stream live at twitch.tv/WareGaming_ when we're not busy. And you can also tweet to us at WareGaming_ as well. If you want to be part of the show, please write in to weekly@WareGaming.com. And how are you doing, Josh?
Tired.
Me too.
It is a late night tonight.
Yeah, that's my fault. I said we would record at 9, and it's 11:15.
So excuse the tiredness.
Yes. But the show must go on. So it will, with the who, what, and the where. And the first up right now, the probably biggest news of the day is
the
that
week.
Of the
It's a slow news week.
Yeah. Well, it
was Easter.
It's sleeping, until it comes in June. Square Enix announces its E3 2019 press conference date and time. This is from Adam Bankhurst at IGN. Square Enix has announced its plans for E3 2019 and has revealed that it will be hosting a special broadcast on Monday, June 10th at 6 p.m. Pacific Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, to showcase an exciting lineup of titles. Square Enix
Hopefully they're exciting. I mean, they're not going to have a special broadcast.
Yeah.
To showcase boring lineup of of titles.
Yeah. Square Enix took to Twitter to share the news of how they will be kicking off E3 2019 this year, but did not give any indication of what exactly they'll be showing.
Avengers.
An interesting note, however, is that it is taking the time slot that has been previously held by PlayStation, which follows the news that PlayStation would not be appearing at E3 this year.
It doesn't really follow the news. I mean, it follows the news by like 6 months.
Yeah.
sorry.
At this point, it's not really. It's not like necessarily that 9 p.m. slot is or 6 p.m. slot is sacred. It's just that's what it's always been. They need something to fill it.
Yep.
I don't think like the 9 p.m. slot, other than the fact that that's what we liked the most, it has to be the one that is like.
Yeah, it's
not to say Square Enix can't blow it out of the water. Great, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
As for what it may show, the two big unknowns right now for Square Enix are Final Fantasy VII Remake and the Avengers project made by Tomb Raider developer Crystal Dynamics and Deus Ex developer Eidos Montreal. Last year at E3, game director Tetsuya Nomura told IGN that the Final Fantasy VII Remake is finally out of the early concept stages and that the game is in full development. We do not know much about the Avengers project that was announced back in 2017 as part of Square Enix and Marvel's multi-game partnership, but some job postings have indicated that the game may feature third-person action and will incorporate a social or shared online play. That's it.
No big news there.
Last year's...
I bet if they're tired of showcasing or talking about Final Fantasy VII Remake, they could finally announce Final Fantasy 16.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. From what I understand, it's the longest it's been since they've announced a new Final Fantasy.
Really? I feel like Final Fantasy 15 just came out.
Yeah, but it was originally announced 10 years ago.
Oh. Well, it makes sense that it's the longest they've announced a Final Fantasy game. Because, yeah.
But, yeah. So.
I'm not really... I am not a devoted Final Fantasy fan, but to me, Final Fantasy 16, I don't think is really what this needs right now. I think they need to finish 7 and just, pump pump the Final Fantasy brakes for a little bit, which is just me. Mainly because I want to see the Avengers, which is, I know it doesn't have anything to do with what these other teams
that's
do.
two different teams.
But
yeah, I see what you're saying.
I can't really remember what they showed off last year. It's Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
Probably. Their last few conferences have not been very impressive. I mean, it's just been like what E3 used to be, which is just basically, here's what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Please be excited.
Yeah.
And that's not like a negative. It's just they don't have anything surprising yet unless they show the Avengers.
Right.
The Avengers is the most surprising thing, but that's not even like a Square Enix proper. It's Crystal Dynamics.
Right.
So,
but hopefully we'll find out more on June 10th at 9:00 Eastern time.
All right. New Xbox Studios will have new things new things nobody has ever. Hang on. Let me try that again. Steve Watts. Sorry. New Xbox Studios will show new quote things nobody has seen before at E3. From Steve Watts at GameSpot. Microsoft has been acquiring studios left and right recently, but so far we haven't seen the output from any of the new developers. The company has promised that will change very soon, as Xbox head Phil Spencer says that the Microsoft E3 presentation will showcase the projects coming from the new studios. This doesn't mean a massive lineup is ready to go this year, however, as Spencer says, the projects are at various stages of completion. I mean, they acquired like 12 studios in the last year. They're not going to have anything ready today. So, but anyway, our new studios are going to have things to show, which is going to be awesome. Some new things that nobody has seen before, which will be fun. Spencer said during an Inside Xbox presentation. I think it's going to be really interesting just to have those teams showing up this year and starting to show what they're building for us. That quote is a lot better than the headline. But if there was like a tweet from Xbox like, we have new things to show at E3.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully.
Yeah.
But in conversation, that makes more sense.
Right.
What you're going to be really excited. We have
people to represent,
and our studios will be there to show you stuff. It's not. We're not going to be quiet for a whole another year while we have stuff to show. So that's exciting. Spencer also hinted that Obsidian might use the Xbox stage to show more of the Outer Worlds. The sci-fi RPG isn't exclusive to Xbox since it's being published under private division. But the studio could take the opportunity to showcase it regardless. Still, Spencer said it will take a while to see all of these studios' acquisitions come to fruition. We can take a drink.
Let's take a break. Sip your water. We're almost there.
It's been nice as you're starting to work with these studios. They come in. I think it's hard to read quotes. It's been nice as you're starting to work with these studios. They come in. I think how big of a deal E3 is for a platform, and I can see them getting excited about it. It'll take years to have them fully integrated in the way that all teams do, because different teams are at different parts of the development cycle. At E3 2018, Microsoft announced a round of acquisitions and has steadily kept announcing more since then. The company has also been teasing a big year with new technologies and boldly proclaimed it would be going big at E3, while competitor Sony backed out. Elsewhere, in the same Inside Xbox broadcast, it announced a digital-only Xbox One model, which we talked about last week. Yeah. And we talked about the rest of that last week.
Yeah. So mainly I pulled the story in because half the stuff we already knew, but mainly I guess I could have just left it to the quote about the new studios are going to be showing something there.
Yeah, and that's what you would expect, but it's good that he's coming out and saying, don't worry, we have something to show this E3. We're not going to let you down.
Exactly.
And that's really big.
We did some sort of hypothesizing the last time we had an article like this up, what it could be, which studios are going to be the ones to show off. But it'll be interesting to see if they do have Obsidian make an appearance. And just like, you can get this anywhere, but again, let's highlight it here on Xbox.
Yeah, and I'd imagine if Obsidian has two different studios going or two different teams going, that they could really like do a blowout of the Outer Worlds and then tease the end of that. Oh, here's a little look at what else we're doing, just to
Right.
show this is going to be exclusive to. Here's what we're doing for Xbox,
Mm-hmm.
for Microsoft. So
Yeah.
I would that would be if they do that, I would expect that towards the end of their little segment.
Right.
So
For sure. All right. Not only will Microsoft and Square be at E3.
spoiler alert: E3 is incoming.
This one's just a little tiny thing. Limited Run Games has an E3 press conference that will take place on June 10th. This is from Daniel Tack at Game Informer. It was really just this information. Probably could have found it anywhere.
Yeah.
But Limited Run Games, which specializes in bringing digital-only titles to the realm of physical release, announced on Twitter today that it will be holding an E3 press conference on June 10th at 12 p.m. Pacific time, featuring news and announcements regarding upcoming releases, including titles for the PlayStation Vita.
This would probably be the last time they announce anything for the PlayStation Vita because they're no longer making the cartridges for them.
Right.
So
But
limited run games is cool. They, like they said, they make games that are typically digital only, like Celeste or.
well, I mean, I don't know
Knight.
if they make those games. They
No, but they bring them to the physical form.
Right, exactly. So to me, that's kind of interesting that they're having a press conference.
They did last year
to tell a bunch of people what games they've already played that are going to come physically.
Well, I mean, if you're a person who doesn't have access to digital and
Yeah.
you saw a game that you'd like to play, it's
I'm not saying that they shouldn't be doing it because it's
Yeah.
cool. I'm just saying the press conference part of it just seems. No one asked me. And then Naughty Dog offers a promising Last of Us Part 2 development update. This is from Oscar Deas at GameSpot.com. Creative director Neil Druckmann tweeted an image of the game's final script page. The page simply reads, "Cut to black, the end." His caption, meanwhile, states the team has finished shooting that scene. This image just comes a few days after Druckmann posted an image on Instagram stating Laura Bailey, who plays an as-yet unknown character, has wrapped her shooting schedule on the project. It therefore appears that Naughty Dog has finished, or is close to finishing, shooting its motion capture scenes. While development of the game could still be going on for a while, finishing this stage is nevertheless an important milestone. In any case, many fans feel they've been starved for information about The Last of Us Part 2, so to see it approaching the end of at least one important phase of development is a promising step. So, I'm sure you all saw this on Twitter. I certainly did. So,
saw Troy Baker and Ashley Johnson. It was something to the effect of cannot describe the very exciting. I have no idea when this game is coming out.
Mm-hmm.
If they're just now finishing the final scenes,
right.
Who knows where this game is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a rumor that on a website, like a retail website overseas or something, posted a release date in September. I don't believe that at all because they don't even know right now.
Right.
Clearly,
there's too many things that need to happen between now and then. For them on the development cycle for it to come out.
Mm-hmm.
Like putting all these images that they've caught into the game and then making sure it's not breaking anything and then putting them together, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So
very exciting. I wouldn't expect to see this till next year, honestly.
So I hope I'm wrong, though.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I wanted to add a story, but we'll talk about it later.
Sure.
I added this particular story because we had a segment about accessibility earlier. So
we talked about accessibility with Sekiro,
yeah.
and then we talked about the audio development tools
exactly
a few weeks earlier. So this is Able Gamers, which is I'm sure it says in the article. Able Gamers launches a new accessibility website from Hayden Taylor over at gamesindustry.biz. Gaming accessibility charity Able Gamers has launched a new website in an effort to connect game developers with players with disabilities. Through player panels, is that the name of it?
Able Gamers. Well, they haven't said the website's name yet.
Okay, that was just all capitalized. So.
Right.
Okay. Through player panels, Able Gamers hopes to make games more accessible more accessible by getting players with disabilities directly involved. Speaking with PC Games In at an Able Gamers spokesperson said, the panels give players with disabilities a way to have their voices heard within the industry by testing games and directly providing feedback, while developers are able to bring an idea or an in-progress project to players with disabilities to gain deep insight and valuable accessibility feedback. Accessible.games also provides, is that right? Or is
Yeah.
that, okay. Accessible.games also provides heaps of information on accessible player experience, such as the 22 design patterns, which include everything from remapping controls to being able to undo actions in gameplay. The new website comes during an ongoing industry debate around accessibility in games, sparked off by From Software's latest title, Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice. It's the latest addition to the growing suite.
Suit.
Well, it says suit, but I'm sure it's supposed to be the growing suite of accessibility tools for gamers, such as the Xbox Adaptive Controller, which Microsoft released last year with the help of UK-based charity Special Effect. So that's very cool. Like we
Yeah.
said last time, accessibility, being able to get games in the hands of as many people as possible is good. So
I want to make sure that we said the right thing.
accessible.games.
Did I spell that right?
Yep, there it is.
Yep. It is accessible.game, so we weren't crazy. So it's a really neat website. If this is something that speaks to you, I would recommend looking it up and just seeing how you can get involved if you are someone who wants to help or someone who would like the help.
Yeah.
So please, look out for that. Do you want to read this one too?
Sure. This is from the NPD group at gamingbolt.com. Pramath?
So this is the Pramath is the guy who posted it.
Okay.
Or the person. Who posted
The Division 2 was the best-selling game in March. While the Switch was the best-selling console of last month.
Last month. That's going to be in my horror movie.
The Last Munch. It wasn't a Switch game that conquered the software charts. No, to no one's surprise, the best-selling game of last month was Division 2 by Ubisoft. It was followed by Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice in second place, MLB 19 The Show, Devil May Cry 5, and perplexingly enough, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate rounding out the top 5 because everybody was getting ready for that Joker DLC.
Right. Exactly.
Is that it?
Well, I listed the top 20.
Okay. The top 20 best-selling titles of March 2019 includes physical and digital sales. Number 1, Tom Clancy's The Division 2, Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice, MLB 19 The Show, Devil May Cry 5, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Red Dead Redemption 2, NBA 2K19, Grand Theft Auto 5. That's still what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's still number 8.
Yeah.
Grand Theft Auto 5 came out in 2013. But almost 6 years ago.
Yeah. And in fact,
Crazy.
2 Rockstar titles.
And yeah,
are
2
in the top.
Rockstar titles are in there. I'm not going to go through all of them because there's a bunch.
I mean, the 20th is Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Borderlands.
I think Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Borderlands was the original, got a re-release.
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed Odyssey had a bunch of sales.
Mm-hmm. And some DLC
Actually, there was a lot of sales on Nintendo recently, so a lot of those make sense.
Right. Exactly.
Anthem's still on the list, so pretty cool.
Yeah. I do want to. Well, I'll add this in at the end. I found an article I want to read later. I'll tell you about it in a minute.
Okay. But to top it off, Division 2 still hasn't beaten. It's the second best-selling game of the year, right under Kingdom Hearts 3.
Speaking of Kingdom Hearts 3, Critical Mode launches on April 23rd, which is today. The day of our recording. And this is from Ian Agash.
And because we like Kingdom Hearts, we're going to tell you anyway.
Yeah. I would say Iane Agosa.
Yeah.
From Dual Shockers. The official Kingdom Hearts Twitter announced.
Where's that Liane?
It was an I.
Okay.
The official Kingdom Hearts Twitter account published today a new message from director Tetsuya Nomura. The second time he was mentioned today on the show.
Yep.
The message states that the free DLC update adding critical mode to Kingdom Hearts 3 will be available April 23rd Pacific time. It didn't give me a time, though. Just that it would be. The message also states...
April 23rd Pacific time.
Okay.
Okay.
The message also states that Kingdom Hearts 3's critical mode will be different from the critical modes featured until now into the series. Co-director Tai Yasu already stated a few days ago that Kingdom Hearts 3 critical mode will include many differences with other difficulty modes, like new abilities. Tetsuya Nomura also spoke about critical mode himself in a past interview we've covered, and how they've changed so many things they had to
debug the game again.
He also revealed in the same interview that Kingdom Hearts 3 will be receiving a huge story DLC by the end of 2019.
Wow.
Many fans of Kingdom Hearts 3's biggest weaknesses thought Kingdom Hearts 3's biggest weaknesses were the story pacing and the fact that the battles were too easy and slightly boring, even in the highest difficulty available at launch. So a critical mode update is highly anticipated, and that is what we said on our not spoiler cast episode.
Yeah, we didn't do the spoiler cast because it just got away from us.
But
those criticisms would be there.
I would say my other one was that there was no surprises in terms of worlds.
Yeah, no surprises. They literally showed us every world that were in all the preview events. Like, there was not a surprise world other than like the final world, which we kind of already seen before. So
yeah, and I've been thinking about the fact that I haven't been thinking about Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah. Well, I think about it and how much like it just.
I don't want to say that it was a letdown because I really enjoyed the ending, but the experience overall wasn't very memorable.
Right. It definitely didn't hit like Kingdom Hearts 2 or 1, where like it was totally telegraphed.
Right.
It was predictable. It didn't do anything to deepen the story. It's got such a rich story. It was just so focused on tying up loose ends and such and just as like Disney way as possible.
Right. Yeah.
So,
I want to add one more story. It's kind of this is a rumor more than anything else, but a rumor came out today that they're on Reset Era. I'm just going to read the article. Did you read this?
No, I heard about it on. Yeah.
Okay. Is it possible that Warner Brothers is really about to announce its new DC game this week? This is from Alex Avard at Games Radar. Last week we heard rumors of an in-the-works Suicide Squad game to be revealed by Warner Brothers Interactive Entertainment later this summer as an E3 2019 game, supposedly oriented as a service-based online experience in the vein of Destiny 2 or Anthem. Since then, more leaks have surfaced about the title across the internet, but their veracity is dubious to say the least. First, a promotional image for a title called Outlaws appeared on Reddit, appearing to suggest that WB would be revealing more on Friday, April 26th. A vista of Gotham City could be seen in the background, adding further fuel to the fire that this is a game set in Rocksteady's Arkham universe. But the image has since been sourced back to the work of an artist unaffiliated with WB, thus discrediting the authenticity, though the origin of the Outlaws font was yet to be either authenticated or debunked. Not long after that, a product listing for Outlaws, along with some placeholder art for its premium edition, showed up detailing its platforms, PS4, Xbox One, and PC, developer, Rocksteady, and a release window, Q2 2020. The font for this Outlaws title was the same as that seen in the leaked promo image, but again, this could easily be faked by some overenthusiastic fan inspired by some recent news flurry. We've also known that WB Montreal, the studio developed Batman Arkham Origins, is reportedly working on a DC game for some time now, as is Rocksteady, which hasn't released anything since 2016 Batman Arkham VR. So could Outlaws be one of those titles? And if so, can we really expect to see something by Friday? And then there's some more, editorializing on that. Rumors that it could have something to do with the Red Hood, Jason Todd, who was in Arkham Knight.
Are they going to do a Red Hood after having Arkham Knight?
I don't know. I mean, that's kind of what that...
Spoilers for Arkham
Arkham Knight, which
Arkham
is
Knight.
5 years later.
Yeah, well...
2014.
2014?
I believe so.
No, it said Arkham VR was 2016. That was a year after. It was 2015.
Arkham Knight. 2015.
2015. Yeah. So spoilers. But Arkham Knight is just the Red Hood. It's just Jason Todd.
Right.
So I mean, are they?
Unless it's like an origin of, or the story of what happened to him.
I don't know.
So,
But I don't believe anything.
yeah, we'll find out on Friday if the world ends or not. I mean,
Right.
Yeah. All right. That's the news this week. That's the who, what, and where. We actually played a game this week.
Yeah.
And I wanted you to talk about it. So, Katana Zero.
Katana Zero
Talk about this game,
is
Josh.
fantastic. I've played a handful of hours of Katana Zero. It's basically it's not really it's kind of a side scroller, but it's a lot more like a single screen game.
Yeah.
It's a 2D action. You play as a samurai, and the goal is you have to get through each room by dodge rolling and slashing through enemies. And if you fail, it's like, oh no, that's not gonna work. And basically, he's got these drugs that let him like plan out his attack,
Mhm.
kind of like Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah.
So he's thinking. So what you're doing is you're playing as you're thinking ahead.
Right.
And so he's planning your attack. You get through the room. You gotta, like I said, slash through people. You can slash bullets if someone shoots at you.
Mhm.
And it's all about timing and like just learning the maneuvers.
Well, but, before you get too far, what's the game like look like? What's the setting here?
It's like a neo noir, like it's like electronic cyberpunk fantasy world.
Retro future.
Yeah, some you gotta just like Google it because it's hard to describe, but it's a very neat, it's very pretty game. And it's got this like retro vignette, so like everything's like videotapes and cassette tapes. He puts on his like Walkman before every level. Excuse me, and like it pops up a little like you're listening to this song by this person. It's kind of neat. And the story is basically you're this samurai who lost his memory in the war, and every night you're going on these missions for this company or this organization, and then you got to go talk to your at the beginning of the day you go talk to your therapist who gives you drugs, and you have some dialogue options. You can choose to cooperate and talk with the therapist, or you can just tell them to buzz off, and that'll kind of affect how things play out for you. I haven't quite finished the game. I've still got probably a few more hours to go. It does like ramp up, like has spikes in difficulty. Like at one point, it just all of a sudden surrounds you with enemies, and it took a long time to get through that.
I remember pretty early on because I've only put like maybe an hour or two in it. Really early on, they take away your sword, and you have to do the whole thing without having your sword. I mean, you have items you can pick up and throw, but you don't get the sword.
Right.
And so it was really interesting figuring out new ways to go about it.
Yeah, and there's a couple like boss fights that are kind of neat. You have to do things a specific way. Like there's one point where like tied to a chair, and you got to try to like get out of the chair, or he kills you, or whatever.
Really,
kind of neat.
That's neat.
And they have this like rival that you're fighting for most of the game. I don't know how far that will go. And you're known as the Dragon. And,
right.
And you go home to your like slum apartment at the end of the night, and you can turn on the news, and you can hear like all of your kills at the end of the night. Like, look what this guy did. He's like 35 dead or whatever, or something at this random place downtown.
So there's also this like storyline going on that's like a dream he's having that involves this little girl and this doctor. Have you? I mean, what do you think about the way they're explaining that? To me, right now, it's super bizarre, and I still haven't quite figured out what it's supposed to be. I
haven't quite figured out what it's supposed to be, unless this is like maybe that's some kind of like origin he's trying to like remember.
Because there was some dialogue when half of them happen after you talk to your therapist or something like that, or
Mm-hmm.
it says what did he say or did he say anything, and you have these options of saying, oh, he said this or he didn't say a thing, and so you're kind of creating this origin for him. Like for me, the doctor, I don't know if this is the same way. So the setting is it's this young child in this slummy apartment that a doctor bursts in, or well, a character bursts in, a shadow
Mm-hmm.
bursts in, and I decided that it was a doctor for some reason, and then that he says hide or run or
Mm-hmm.
something like that, and I wasn't sure if that was always supposed to be there or if it happens for you or if you just chose the same options that I did.
I may have chose the same options you did because like I basically told the therapist I'm cooperating with the
Yeah,
therapist
yeah.
because I figure that's the best way to understand the story.
Hmm.
I kind of thinking about it though. I kind of want to go back and do like other
Yeah,
try
sometimes I've slammed said just give me the medicine, and very few times I've like ended the conversation. But at the same time, it's like,
with
well,
my
we're not
rival.
missing any.
I constantly like the guy who keeps like messing with me.
Hmm.
At one point, I just started cutting him off. Like I'm kind of not super spoiler. I mean, like I said, you're tied to a chair at some point, and this guy's just like he at first he's like super impressed with you or whatever. He like looks up to you, and then you just like you know tear him down,
Hmm.
and he's got you tied to the chair, and he's just yelling at you, and you just cut him off.
Hmm.
It's like just shut up, shut up. It's like I'm not listening. Fuck.
Yeah,
And he just gets increasingly furious at you.
yeah.
So
Um,
it's a great game. Go check it out, and we'll probably talk more about it.
when
Soon.
we have some more time with it. It was only what, $15, $20?
Yeah, $15 on the Nintendo Switch or PC.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I don't know if I'd necessarily recommend or not recommend yet, just because I haven't spent enough time with it. But
I've spent several hours with it, and I mean I've enjoyed what I've played. So I would recommend it for $15.
there you go. We also got a taste of. Well, I only played one or two
Hopefully, I
matches.
can get all those out of there. I'm just like stuffed up.
Well, we'll see what we can do. Uh, uh, I haven't spent much time with it. I don't know if you've spent much time with it, but I have played a few matches of Joker in Smash.
I need to play more. I think I only played the one when I bought it,
Okay.
and then just haven't had a chance to sit back down with it. But
Yeah. It's Smash Brothers, and he plays like Smash Brothers, but there are a lot like the amount of detail and care that they've included. It wasn't
Right.
just like, oh, here's a character in a skin. It's like there's intricacies everywhere even in the game.
somehow I like called upon Arsene,
Yeah.
and I don't know how, and I don't know what he did, but
Right, he just pops up, and I could have sworn I saw you play it, and I could have sworn you threw a Pokeball, and it called
See,
something out,
I
but then I can't do it again. I've
right.
not been able to do it again.
Yeah, when I threw the Pokeball, I don't know if it was a weird button combination I pressed or whatever, but I threw the Pokeball and then Arsene popped up behind me and started running with me. But I couldn't figure out if I could do anything with him or if he was just like powering me up or
Right. Well, in my mind, the way it was working is that it was like casting a persona, because that's the
right.
correlation. I was like, maybe the game, the devs were like, if you throw a Pokeball, it's like casting a persona. Maybe
Right.
he yells out the name of the Pokemon as if it was a persona, which would be really deep. It can't be what's happening.
Yeah.
But
Go Centennial.
Yeah. Exactly. So I don't know. I'm looking too hard into that, but I mean, the fact that it feels normal. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't feel.
He
out of the
feels
way.
like he fits the Memento stage. The Mementos stage was really cool. It's I think I mentioned last week. They've got several different tracks from the like Persona universe,
Mhm.
and so depending on what song is playing for the level, will change how the level looks. It can be from Persona 3, 4, or 5, and so the song depends on how the stage looks. And his Super Smash or his ultimate is the all-out attack from Persona 5. So
Right.
it'll go into the same animations. You have like all your characters pop up from Persona 5, and if you like a stock battle or whatever, and you win, it'll go straight to the victory screen, which is awesome.
Right.
So.
That's just awesome. So
I do want to spend a lot more time with it, but
yeah. But that's really all we've had time to play this week. But before we go, we're going to tell you what's coming out this week. Coming out on April 25th, which is not tomorrow, but the next day.
Yep.
Steam World Quest, Hand of Gilgamesh comes to Switch.
No, Hand of Gilgamesh.
Oh. I was just assuming that's what it was trying to say. Steam World Quest, Hand of Gilgamesh on Switch on April 25th. Box Boy plus Box Girl on Switch on April 26th. Days Gone comes up on PS4 on April 26th.
The big first-party release there.
Yeah, I'm super excited. Well, I'm probably not going to get it right now because I'm broke, but I'm excited to play it eventually. Super Meat Boy Forever.
I think that one got delayed. That the list we have might not have been updated, but I'm pretty sure they recently delayed and into May, but didn't give a date. Super Meat Boy Forever.
Yeah, this is from about a week ago. No, a few days ago. But
they just may not have updated it, but because it kind of the story went around because they're like, we're just not going to drive ourselves into the ground. We don't work for some scummy big fat cat company that just makes us do what we're going to knock this out but we're not going to kill ourselves doing it. So Super Meat Boy Forever is coming, probably sometime in May, maybe later.
Just not this week.
And
then Final Fantasy XII: The Zodiac Age comes out on Xbox One and Switch on April 30th.
Good deal.
And that's the show. Thank you for watching Ware Gaming Weekly this week.
Yeah.
I apologize for our sniffles
and coughs
and my exhaustion. We will be back next week.
Hopefully with some bigger news. We like I said, this was a light news day.
But thank you for sticking around. If you want to be part of the show, again, remember weekly at waregaming.com. You can tweet to us at waregaming_. You can tweet to me at speaknicklish.
You can tweet to me at jaws1015. And until next week, say goodbye, Nick.
Goodbye, Nick.